Tonight on Rodney Spitz P.I., Rodney is back in his first sequel. After heading out into the wilderness to rebuild Squint's burned-down cabin, Rodney quickly gets distracted by the thought of being the man of the hour at his very own roast. Who will show up to roast the dubious P.I. of the hour? Will Squint's cabin get rebuilt? Will anyone get Dean Martin drunk? Take it away, gang.
Hey, Squint, can we pull over? I think I saw a signpost that looked like a girl I once knew. I want to go say hi.
Now I told you, Ruddy, no stops. Too much risk of you trying to run away.
Wait a second. Is this a kidnapping? Oh, jeez. That's why you're being so nice to me.
Oh, come on now. I'm thinking of it as a camping weekend more than a kidnapping, Ruddy. That's why I was going to do octodogs on the fire later.
No thanks, Squint. Ever since I let that octopus babysit my chihuahua, the shine of octo dogs has really worn off.
Now that was a bloodbath.
Hey, your timing on this kidnapping wasn't ideal either, Squint. It's the annual PI convention this weekend, and I'm gonna miss it just like last year. They're even bringing back my favorite part, the annual roast.
Oh, I know, Ruddy. In fact, the organizers hired me to keep you from coming. This whole thing is what you may call a setup. But I also feel it's good payback for burning down my cabin last year. You're gonna help me rebuild.
I have no memory of that. But I guess that makes this my first sequel.
Sequel? Oh, I hope not. That's why I patted you down for flare guns before you got in. I don't want you burning anything down this year.
Oh, now I remember. We told stories around the campfire, and I made a short-lived best friend, Doug.
Ah, yes. The wee chipmunk who perished in the fire you started.
I guess we'll never know for sure what happened to Doug.
He was cut down in his prime by an entirely preventable fire. Started by you, with a flare gun.
Yep, one of life's sad mysteries. He never even lived to see our big bet through.
Jesus, Ruddy, what have I told you about wagering? Particularly with woodland creatures. What'd you bet on?
The ponies! He was all in for Golden Prince Billy West. But I, as always, put my money on Secretariat.
How'd it come out?
Billy West took the crown, and Secretariat didn't place. Still dead, apparently. Oh man, Squint, that porta potty you brought in the back of the truck went flying. Must have gone 15 feet. That's gotta be a porta record.
It's a personal best, just by eyeballing it. This trip's off to a good start. Much better than last year, that's for sure.
Wait a second, Squint. Is there someone in that porta potty?
Keen observation, Ruddy. And I agree. Counts for extra points on the distance record.
Well, obviously. But what's going on?
Well, that's Gary. You remember him, right?
That CIA agent who screwed up my chance at being a spy. What a mud-brained idiot. Why, he deserves to be thrown out of the agency. Be living on the streets.
Well, you're half right. He was fired from the agency and now lives with his Aunt Debbie in a nice little bungalow while he's getting back on his feet. I brought him up as an extra set of hands to help rebuild the cabin. And I have a feeling we're going to get a pretty fun dynamic going on with him. Change is the spice of life. Okay, Gary, time to get you out of there. Dethrone or be dethroned.
Now you listen here, Squint. I've had this whole trip to sit and think of exactly what I was going to say to you when I got out of here. So it's your turn to listen, Buster Brown.
Oh, hell, why'd I bring Gary? This may be a challenging dynamic.
Oh, man. I don't like this dynamic at all.
Well, how do you think I feel after being locked in a toilet since this morning? I mean, if I was still a CIA agent, I'd drag you in for being such a meanie.
Shut up, Gary.
Yeah, shut up, Gary. A little kidnapping never hurt anybody. Well, except the Lindbergh baby. But that's not really the point right now. You're gonna have to work on your attitude this weekend, Mr. Man.
Well, you're gonna have to work on not kidnapping people as much. Please?
I'm putting you on blast notice, Gary. One iota of lip from you, and I'm gonna slap that smile on the next Tuesday. You understand me?
Ooh, drill sergeant. Now there's a good dynamic.
I don't like that one so much.
Don't worry, we'll get there. You can't force these things, you know.
Well, I don't want anything to do with this Gary dynamic. I'm gonna set up my tent far away from both of you. And since you're making me miss the PI roast, maybe I'll host my own roast with my real friends. Whoever they are.
Remember, Ruddy, don't eat wild berries or mushrooms. Oh, and watch out for payday loan scams. As the surrounding cities have sprawled out into the woodland, wolves, coyotes, and other predators have less and less space to payday loan scam each other, and have had to resort to payday loan scamming tourists and visitors to parks. One woman had her good credit torn limb from limb until she was nothing but a mass of IOUs, debt, and ruined 401ks.
Don't worry. I'm wearing my lone sharkskin suit. I'm unscammable.
Just don't sign anything while you're out there, okay?
No deal. After I peed in the bush, I signed a short-term high-interest predatory loan agreement and a 2-year lease with a helpful family of foxes by the creek. Joke's on them, though. I'm not considered legally responsible for my actions after that face-off incident a few years ago.
That was the one where you tried to switch faces with John Travolta, wasn't it?
It was only because Nick Cage put me up to it. Apparently, the last part of the Declaration of Independence is written on the inside of John Travolta's face. I just don't think I got deep enough with that potato peeler.
I heard Travolta sued you both pretty bad after that.
Oh, he sure did. Nick's too broke for us to try again for a while, but I set him up with those nice payday loan foxes, and they've almost got him back on his feet. One German castle at a time.
Like Rodney Spitz on Facebook and follow him on Twitter.
There! That should do it. My campsite is all set up. Huh. Well, looks like I'll just sleep under my trench coat tonight. Now all I have to do is find some friends for my roast. I'm the man of the hour, and I've got enough booze and grass to make Dean Martin blush. All I need are some hilarious friends to give me the gears about everything from my alopecia to my sleep arson. I wonder who'll show up. Oh boy, the crickets are here. Don't give it to me too hard, guys. No shots below the thorax. I thought you'd like that one. Dog? It can't be. You were killed in that fire. You're Doug's brother? Of course. You look just alike. Please, make yourself a drink. It's gonna be a great night. Oh boy, looks like everyone's coming out to roast me, Ricky Spokes PI. Oh yeah, Spitz. Thanks. And who's this?
Hi, I'm Phil. I'm from Phoenix. I'm camping on the beach just up the way, and I heard a lot of babbling, so I thought someone may be in trouble, and I came to check and make sure everything's all right.
Phil, you're just in time. It's the roast of me, Rodney Spitz.
Sir, I'm a trained paramedic. Have you suffered any brain trauma while you've been out here today, Mr. Spitz?
No, it's nothing like that. I haven't had major brain trauma in weeks. And that last one wasn't on me. It's on those sea turtles who laid eggs in my brain. You can't just go around laying eggs in a guy's brain just because he blacks out on the beach for a few days. I don't know. Maybe Squint's right. Maybe I should take this as a compliment. And who's this?
Well, hey, you dolls. It's me, the ghost of Sammy Davis Jr. And let me tell you, babies,
The dead laugh. Woo, it's the good laugh.
Oh boy, it's a haunted roast! Take a seat next to Phil, Sammy. Get comfortable.
Well, Mr. Spitz, I think I will stay. But because I'm concerned about you being out here all alone, talking to animals and seeing ghosts and all, you're clearly in a delusional fog. Or maybe a fugue state. Cool.
Oh, I've had way more delusional episodes than this, but hey, I can try to ramp it up, sure. I always have some emergency moonshine taped to my back like John McClane in Die Hard. That way, if anyone draws down on me, I can get good and drunk after I narrowly escape somehow. It always seems to work.
Oh, that's not at all what I meant.
Thanks, Phil. You're right. I've got to do my part to amp this crazy roast up. You're a good roast master, Phil.
Do you feel a pressure in your head, Mr. Spitz? I feel like your brain might be swelling.
Yep, a real good roast master. But when it's time, don't you hold back on me. Let me have it.
Let 'em have it, baby. It's all in the spirit of a groovy roast. Take it from me, the ghost of Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, that's weird. I heard the ghost talking.
I stoked the fire with a brick of peyote after you told me this roast needed to get crazier. You're going to be riding a pretty luxurious peyote high all night, Phil, my boy. It's a roast!
And that, Gary, is how it came to be known as a safe.
Because it keeps things safe? I feel like that's sort of in the name, but heck, that sure was a lot of details about safe repair and notable historical safes, Squint.
Well, if you enjoyed that one, I'll tell you about why it's called a manwich sometime. Now pass me a few more nails.
Here you go.
Excellent. This mast should be up by nightfall.
Mast? I thought we were building a cabin.
Exactly. We're building a cozy little log cabin with a 75-foot central mast and rigging that can carry us 23 knots on a moderate southerly gust. At 40 meters long, she'll roll right through storms, climb waves like walls.
And what about the reinforced hull?
That's so we survive the Spanish galleons' ferocious cannons while we hunt them for their gemstones, precious metals, and other general wealth items. It'll berth 75 souls plus a stout and worthy captain. Are you up for the task, Gary? Could be a real big dynamic shift for us. Could get goofy if I had to gamble.
Okay, well, if I'm captain, I think I need to start by telling you that you're building a ship and not a cabin. I feel like a cabin doesn't need as much rigging as we've designed for.
Aye, aye, Captain. It's easy for me to see now we've been building a Class A tall ship. Fast and nimble, yet cutting an imposing silhouette under the horizon. What'll we do, Captain?
Okay, well, why don't we forget the mast and focus on putting in a few more windows, you know, brighten the place up.
Roger that, Captain. Expand the portholes.
On land, they're just windows.
If I may speak freely, Captain,
You may.
you keep on this foolhardy path, you're gonna have a mutiny on your hands.
Whoa, I don't want any trouble. I just want this tall ship we've built to be the best log cabin it can be. And I think that involves focusing on the living area and the kitchen. Maybe building some bunk beds.
Well, all right, Captain. You've won the crew back. But I call a top bunk.
What crew? It's just you and I.
Keen perception like that is how you won me and the crew's respect back, you know.
Phew, thank goodness.
But now that this is no longer a ship, there's no reason for it to have a captain. I'm so sorry, Gary. It looks like you're out of a job. The severance package allows you to keep your monkey.
I didn't get a monkey. You just gave me the job moments ago.
Your monkey's probably in the post then. Should be here in a matter of weeks. Don't get your hopes up, though. They usually die on the way. Anyway, this is a pretty big dynamic shift for us, Cap. Maybe it's time we try something else.
Well, maybe we could try a watermelon break dynamic. Nothing refreshes big boys after working in the sun like a nice slice of seedless watermelon.
There's the idea, Cap. Get over your crushingly disgraceful firing with some dumb melon. Why don't we try your billionaire who's secretly a superhero crime fighter to my precocious place-switching twins with a nose for trouble?
So I just don't say I'm a superhero? I think I can do that, Squint.
Squint? Oh, I'm not Squint. I'm his twin brother, Randy. And I'm on my way to take the big algebra test today. How about you, Mr. Billionaire Man?
Yeah. That's good, Randy. I really don't know what to say. I'm gonna go do billionaire things?
Like?
Like, landing a helicopter on a blimp? Or like getting my laundry done at a hotel?
Don't you think the crime rate is mighty high, Mr. Billionaire Man? I wonder what actions you could take to clean up the scum who own the streets of our city.
Right. I could like invest in civic programs or like education and like start mental health programs.
And
Bring swift, brutal justice down on criminals and supervillains alike until the streets where my parents were gunned down are finally safe for a new generation.
yeah, you are. And now that I know your secret, you have to let me and my twin brother join you on your next adventure? Ooh, I hope it's a caper.
Sure. Sure, Randy. You and Squint can come next time I fight crime.
But now that your secret identity is blown, how could we possibly continue this dynamic? And also, it's been me, Squint, the whole time. Oh, hell, I'm running out of dynamics, Gary. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe we pack in work on the cabin for tonight and go check out Roddy's roast. Get some laughs in our bellies.
Well, I'm in, Squint.
Shut up, Gary.
Visit RodneySpitz.com for the latest on Rodney all the time.
Ooh, babies, it's Ghost of Sammy Davis Jr.'s time. But before I go, let me tell you, babies, Rodney has so many unsolved cases. Babies, Rodney's got so many unsolved cases, they should call him Rodney Quits. P.I.
It's Spokes, thank you very much. Ooh, good save, Spitz. This roast is going great. People, animals, and ghosts seem to be having a really great time. Phil, get up here. Bring up the next act. You're our roast master. You gotta keep things moving.
Oh, Rodney, I don't feel so good. I feel so foggy, but also so connected to what's going on. The color blue is telling me secrets.
Oh, that's the peyote I've been stoking the fire with. You're downwind from the smoke. I'd reckon you're probably coming up on Spirit Quest territory right about now. Perfect for being a roast master.
Okay, man. Oh, this is gonna get weird. So, hi everyone, I'm Phil. This is my first roast. I've been a long time caller, first time listener, but, to be here, man, you know? It's a time, man. It's really a time. Anyway, I'm gonna welcome onto the stage, I don't know, a little chipmunk or something? Oh, this is gonna get cool.
Oh man, Doug's brother, you're too funny. Really giving me the gears about killing Doug. Just like I knew you would.
Prepare to be roasted, Rodney Spitz. And you thought you were safe from the comedic prowess of Squint and his new little pal, Gary.
Hey, I really don't like this dynamic.
Oh, come on, slugger. Chin up. If you're good, we can go for ice cream on the way home.
It's just that this dynamic feels really patronizing. But I do want the ice cream. So I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. I think this dynamic is gonna work.
Yeah. Hey, Gary. Hey, Squint! I'm glad you made it to the roast. Pull up a stump and have a seat around the fire. You may or may not want to sit up with, depending on how much you like peyote.
Oh, no thanks. I'm on a straight Egyptian heroin kick these days. It's cut with the ground up bones of mummies, Chief. It really takes the edge off a long millennia.
I once caught my sister smoking a cigarette, and she made me smoke some so I wouldn't tell. Drugs really can have a dark side.
Shut up, Gary. Anyway, that's Phil. He's our roast master, and he's pretty much in a peyote psychosis right now. But he's a great guy. Been sitting on the wrong side of the peyote fire all night, unfortunately. Actually, go sit next to Phil, Gary. Get real loose.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Phil. I'm Gary.
The dragons will come for us. There is nothing we can do to prepare.
Well, don't worry, Phil. I've seen a few movies about dragons, and I think we're going to be fine. Because I hear they've got one scale that's their weak point. Now all we need is a slingshot and just the right rock.
Well, those two sound like they're going to be fast friends. Hey, Squint, maybe I could even fit you into the lineup, if there's time.
Oh, I will not be abbreviated, Chief. The last man that tried to play me off was very sorry indeed. They took away my technical Oscar after they found him the next morning.
You're telling me you won an Oscar, Squint?
Technical Oscar. Best rigging. What can I say? I rig. No regard for what. I'll rig it. Sales, cables, elections. Don't matter to me. It's all just rigging.
Phil, we're changing the order. Squint's up next.
We are the children of a collapsed world, man. I see that now. The dragons have come to cleanse it, and all we can do is wait to be judged by them.
Okay, Squint, just go ahead. That's probably the best introduction you're going to get at this point in the night.
Well. Looks like it's old Squint's turn. At last. I've known Rodney for a few years now, and I can safely say that they've been some of the most daring, dangerous, and dare I say it, preposterous years of my life. And this is coming from a man who did most of the animal stunts in Homeward Bound. But I digress. The idiot of the hour is Rodney.
Hey, that's me! Good one, Squint!
In thinking about this roast, I decided there's no sense making up jokes about a man whose life is as absurd as Rodney's. So I thought I'd just share a few incidents that I was witness to. Unfortunately for all involved, what I'm about to tell you is true, and not embellished in any way. Like the time he got into a fight with a birthday cake.
That was a real smug cake. Not everyone has a birthday, you know.
September 9th, Rodney thought he'd stumbled upon a ninja academy, tried to hijack it as his own private army. It was in fact a retiree Tai Chi group. No charges were filed, but it came close after he tried giving them all gang tattoos. January 22nd, the office hears Rodney berating someone. After 2 hours, he emerges sweating and flings a teapot into the trash. When questioned, he had just watched Beauty and the Beast, and he was dressing down the tea kettle in his office for its idleness and for not setting him up romantically. When he started on one of my best rakes, I had to put a stop to things, though. She's a sensitive rake. She can't take the abuse that a mop or a push broom can. April 3rd, Rodney celebrates April Fool's Day 2 days late and is probably using an old calendar and, as he does every year, releases wild emus into the office.
It's one of my favorite holiday traditions. Christmas, Easter, April Fools.
It's usually a lot of dead and maimed emus by the end of it. But we eat like Australian gods for a few days.
Do we ever? Creepy emu steaks make me feel like a king among rancid, toothless outcast prisoners. God, makes me want to rustle up some emus.
The holidays are fun times. Personally, I like to relax by repeatedly breaching the surface of a still water pond in the jungle at night. My hair and face caked in mud as I slink along the riverbanks to finally kill Colonel Kurtz.
I've always kind of thought he is the Kurtz type, actually.
Oh, bless your little heart. That's precisely why I've been hunting him. To take his place. You're welcome to be the weird Western photographer at my compound any time, Rodney Spitz.
Ricky Spokes!
Sure, that can be your compound name if you like.
Spokes!
So, as I was saying...
Ricky Spokes!
Damn it, Spokes. Let me tell all of you, though, that night of June 12th topped anything that's come before in raw and bridled zany antics. The night was warm, the moon was high. It would prove to be a good crop that year after all was said and done. But we didn't know it that night, riding in the back of the hay truck, palling around, goofing on the Albanian kid who lost his parents in a bridge collapse. So we're bumping around this rutabaga field a couple of miles out, and we see this crashed alien vessel. Those farmhands, they got to go when we found the craft, but me and Big Cal, the lead hand, investigated it with a flashlight, and I with an old gas lantern I'd found in an antique shop just that afternoon. Never thought I'd use it for such a grisly encounter. Or so soon. A purchase well made. Light on fuel consumption, fits easily in the hand. Real quality piece of lanternship. Still have it in the office today.
I feel like that last one was more about you buying an old lantern than it was about me.
Can a man not talk about his lanterns in a public forum? It used to be a source of pride in our communities, but that's fine. I'm done with this roast. I'm gonna go sit down and percolate about this indignity for a few minutes.
Okay, that was like a pirate or something. Looks like you're up, Rodney. I mean, the dragons are coming, so I would just make it quick if I were you, man. They speak in my head and they're telling me bad things about this roast.
Oh boy. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Phil, for the introduction. Looks like you're more toasted than roasted.
Rodney, I think Phil's been drugged. And I don't want to alarm anyone, but my hands are melting like candles.
Sounds like that peyote's romancing the both of you. Don't fight it or your mind will basically tear itself apart. Which, I mean, go ahead. Screw you, Gary.
That's gonna just attract more dragons, man.
No one's going anywhere. I've still got to roast y'all back.
I didn't roast you, Rodney. I thought maybe we could change our dynamic from here on in. You know, start fresh. It's something that Squint's been teaching me.
Aw, heck, Gary. You've been listening.
Shut up, Gary. This is a roast. All the gloves are off. You pathetic swine breath ingrate. Our dynamic is set. Shut up, Gary. That's our dynamic. None of your clothes flatter me at all. I mean, you've got no eye for patterns and there's almost nothing in my size.
You broke in and went through my clothes?
That's not all I went through. Your couch contains no change. Your liquor cabinet only has vermouth. And your Netflix favorites list is all Hugh Grant movies. Goddamn Mickey Blue Eyes. Your dog isn't friendly, you use women's deodorant, and the only trophies you have are from badminton. I find it hard to believe you're even good at something. But badminton? That's stupid. Not to mention you screwed up my whole dream of being a spy. All you had to do, Gary, was put that dead Russian's body out on the balcony, and I would have been a spy. I mean, I would have finally been able to add the S to my official title. Rodney Spitz, SPI. I would have been so great in the CIA. My swordsmanship, my command of Viking ox calls, my personal feud with Afghanistan. But you bungled it. And here I am, hanging out with you. In summation, I hate you, Gary. I truly hate you. That's my roast to you. I hate you with all my irregularly shaped heart.
Are you gonna roast anybody else, Rodney? That was all Gary material.
Well, I hate you too, Rodney Spitz, P.I. Before my arms finish melting, I'm gonna strike you down.
Come at me, Gary.
Okay, Phil. This is your big moment as roast master. I gotta save Rodney to save this roast. Stop, Gary! No!
Roddy, you shot Phil with a flare gun.
Well, I was aiming for Gary. Wow, Phil really went up in flames fast. And he's a pretty good runner.
Where'd you get the flare gun, Rodney? I checked you to make sure this near exact scenario wasn't gonna happen.
It was in Phil's emergency kit. It was the first thing I snagged after I snacked on those Band-Aids.
You're pretty resourceful for stupid, Roddy. Credit where credit's due.
Oh my gracious! I tried to attack you, Rodney. I'm so sorry. It must have been the drugs in the fire.
You're so lucky I don't have another flare, or I'd have reloaded by now and flared you good. Flared you right in your goober face.
Maybe I should wait in the car.
Maybe you should wait in hell. Well, Phil, I think we can wrap this roast up. Phil? Phil?
Phil's on fire, Rodney. Ignoring stop, drop, and roll, and continuing to run, it seems.
Oh, I know. His material's been hot all night. He really had the crowd jazzed up with that dragon stuff.
Nope. Phil's on fire after you shot him with a flare. From the sound of things, fire's spreading through the forest.
Huh. So another forest fire.
Another forest fire.
We should probably get going, Squint.
Yeah. I'll go warm up the car.
Whew. Squint, that was yet another great camping weekend. I'm really glad you brought me out here.
Well, the cabin's been burnt to the ground. Again. Forest charred to a crisp. Again. I think we've had a pretty successful sequel.
If only Gary hadn't screwed it up by not getting hit by that flare. You need a guy to do one simple thing. Get hit by a flare, and he just Garys it up. Where is he anyway?
Oh, I locked him in the porta potty in the back of the truck. Figured he'd be most comfortable there. He was vomiting a lot from the peyote. Best place for him.
Amateur. How you thought Gary would be a good dynamic is beyond me.
Oh, he's not so bad. He builds a hell of a tall ship. He can't captain one to save his life, though.
But it has highlighted something for me. I think I need a sidekick. You know, someone or something that can keep up with my active lifestyle.
You once got winded when I talked about stairs.
I told you, that was relaxation breathing.
And the sweating?
That was relaxation sweating.
You know, maybe a sidekick would be good for you, Roddy. It would certainly free me up quite a bit to spin off into my own podcast, like I've always dreamed. Reviewing the cinematic blockbusters and hidden gems of yesteryear. I'm thinking of calling it Talking at the Movies, Squint's Fine-Ass Flicks.
Ooh, I'd listen to that. But how do I even start looking for a sidekick? I mean, Batman isn't just gonna sell me Robin, and Green Lantern isn't just gonna give me who cares.
Do what I do when I need to raise a crew. Nail an old scroll to a beam at the wharf. Give an inspirational speech about catching and killing the whale that took what's most precious to you. Like I always do.
Oh, what did the whale take that was so precious?
Oh, that's just some hugglebutt to rouse up a crew. No one wants to sign up to spend 9 months of their lives delivering limes to Cape Cod. You gotta give people something to believe in. Inspire a crew. That's why you feed them a story about a whale and pretend to look for it. And at the end, the crew's thankful they're alive And you deliver the limes and get paid.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Anyway, Squint, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm feeling sleepy from all that arson today.
Sleep tight, little firebug.
Rodney Spitz PI is written, produced, and directed by Michael Daly. Voiced by Vince Tkaczuk and Michael Daly. Visit rodneyspitz.com for more episodes.
And welcome back to Talking at the Movies, Squint's Fine Ass Flicks, a podcast about the classics of Hollywood's golden era. Now, right off the top, I have to do a brief plug for our sponsor, Stamps. Tagline here, what is it they've asked me to read? Don't lick it before you stick it. Okay, now that that's through, I wanted to start the podcast with what many critics hold as the best film ever made, Citizen Kane. Directed by the late bloated Orson Welles and released in 1941. It tells the story of a flawed man's rise to prominence as a media tycoon and eventual fall into disillusionment. Okay, here we go. Okay, so far it's the credits. RKO picture. No surprise there. RKO, now there's the studio. Continuously operating since 1929. They also released personal favorite of mine, Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer. It took 1947 audiences by storm with Shirley Temple's precociousness, playing off Cary Grant's classic good looks. Dynamite. Just dynamite. Okay, so now there's a snow globe, some sort. Warehouse, some crap about a kid's sled.
Yo, hey, buddy! You gonna talk through the whole damn movie or what? Come on!
It's a podcast, sir. It doesn't work if I'm not talking.
Get out of the theater then! Do it at home!
No can do, Chief. When was the last time you saw a blockbuster video? It's not like I can just rent a copy.
Oh, that's it. I'm going to get an usher.
Look, I bought my ticket same as you, friend. You're welcome to podcast too, you know, I don't care. Even though I'm sure it would be a trite and literal reading of nearly every film with none of the color or flair that's going to make my podcast stand out in the already oversaturated market. Oh, hell, here comes that usher.
Sir.
Well, I guess that makes this episode 1 of Talking at the Movies. Squid's Fine Ass Flicks.
Yeah, that's him right there. The idiot that's podcasting. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to
All right, I'm going. Oh, get your flashlight off of me.
Sir.
Oh, come on now, who's causing a disturbance? This has been Squid's Fine Ass Flicks.